You know the old saying, real men don't eat quiche. I'm here to say that that's wrong. I'm a real man and I love quiche. Well, I don't love quiche or I'm not a real man. Well, we'll just let you decide on that. But anyway, listen, if you've ever tried to make an omelet, chances are if you don't have the flip down right, you end up with scrambled eggs. So let's take the best part of quiche, the best part of the omelet, and make it easy. Open face. It's called a frittata, and in this case, since it's packed with all kind of goodness like crab and artichoke, it's an hakuna frittata, and it's coming up on Culinary Nunnsense. I think you know by now when I'm putting together, whether it's a menu or just an item here, I don't need a broad grocery list. I want to keep things concise. A few ingredients that bring a lot of flavor. And for the frittata, it really does work. Instead of trying to deal with the omelet, which ends up sometimes as a scrambled egg, this is open-faced, it's easy, it feeds a lot of people, which is what I really like about it, and they're cost-effective. And speaking of cost-effective, the star ingredient for this go-round is going to be crab. This crab here was on sale. I was back by the seafood counter, and I was like, oh, okay, that makes it a little bit better of a deal. Now let's talk about crab when it's already cleaned and picked. There's three varieties. You can get the claw meat, which is the most expensive. The next in line is the lump meat, which is still a little bit higher, or the special crab meat, which is basically the little pieces and flakes and stuff. But for the frittata, it's going to work well because we want the flavor. And speaking of flavor, here's one of the, we'll call this the co-star to the crab. This is Asiago, and it has a pungent smell. It's a smell that you'll recognize as soon as, especially if you've dealt with Pecorino Romanos or Asiagos, but it carries well, especially when you mix it up with the egg. And then we'll give it a little bit of filler with some artichoke heart and some color here with some red bell pepper. And then to make the whole thing puff up and look like a quiche would look, minus the crust, we've got some cream. In this case, half and half, saving us a little bit of fat instead of going with a whole heavy cream. So let's go ahead and get this started. Just like any omelet, we're going to start with the eggs here, and to keep the bowl from sliding around, whether it's the countertop or here on the cutting board, I'm going to put a little cloth, lightly seasoned, some kosher salt, just a pinch or two, and a little cracked fresh ground pepper. And now we'll beat the eggs until it starts to look like a nice lemony yellow all the way through. Next ingredient, we've got a third of a cup of the half and half to go right into our eggs. And now let's get ready for some of our filler. And what we're going to use will be some of the regular especial crab meat. It's packed in there pretty tight, so just go ahead and grab something sharp, a knife or a fork, and flake it into it. You want those pieces to go throughout. Not going to use the whole thing here. We're going to use maybe about a quarter to a third of the container. Next, some freshly grated Asiago cheese. And we're going to add some filler. These are artichoke hearts, canned artichoke hearts. We're going to get the whole ones, and we're going to break them into quarters. And then finally, some finely sliced or julienne red bell pepper. In a pan that's already hot, we're going to take a stick of butter, not the whole stick, but we're going to give ourselves a good coating all the way around. We don't want the pan and the egg to become one here. So the butter is going to help. And like I said, you know, since we're using the half and half, a little bit of butter never hurt. And now here, when it comes to my omelets, there's a secret ingredient. You ready? Bam! Martha's Mix. You may have heard Nikki talking about this. The proceeds for this actually go to Blessing in a Backpack. You can get this at marthasmix.com. I like to sprinkle it right in the pan, right over top of the butter. As soon as you do it, you smell the seasoning from the Martha's Mix come out. And Martha's has a nice little citrus aftertaste, and I think it works well, especially with omelets and or, in this case, the hakuna frittata. Into the pan it goes. We're going to take the whisk because we got a lot in there. We're going to make sure we get it all out of the bowl. I'm going to turn the heat up just a little bit, and what we're looking for here before it goes into a 350-degree oven, I just want to see a couple of bubbles come up along the side. That tells me the pan is hot enough underneath and that it's already starting to cook the egg on the bottom, and that's going to help it to keep from sticking when the whole thing comes out here in just about 20 minutes. About 20-25 minutes in the oven until the center sets up, and there she is, your open face omelet. Yeah, that pan is piping hot, by the way. your open face omelet, or in this case, the hakuna frittata. And hey, you remember we made some salsa a couple of episodes back? There we go, a little dab right on top always will do it. So that sums it up right there. An open face omelet, it's no fuss, it's no, well, there's a little bit of muss, whatever muss happens to be. But I think if you get your eggs, you put your favorite ingredients inside your hakuna frittata, you too will be saying there is none better. And make sure if you say there is none better that you include this right here. #bacon.